Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really profound concept of character that's absolutely central to Islam. It's a standard of conduct called Akhlaq, and it challenges us to think in a totally new way about what it really means to be a good person. Okay, so let's jump right in with something that probably sounds super familiar to you. This is basically the golden rule, and this version comes from the Hadith, the sayings and traditions of the Prophet Muhammad. It gives us a great starting point, a foundation, but as you're about to see, this is really just the first step on a ladder to a much, much higher ideal. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to nail down what this idea of Islamic morality really is. Then, we'll see how it pushes for a standard that's way beyond what you might expect. After that, we'll get into this wild principle of repelling evil with good, check out the ultimate example of it, and finally, we'll see why character is seen as the absolute truest measure of a person's faith. All right, so first things first. What are we actually talking about when we say Islamic morality? Let's get a really solid definition. The term we're focusing on is Akhlaq. At its heart, it's about how you live your life with other people based on Islamic teachings. But here's the key part. The source text says this isn't some secret code, right? It's based on a universally understood criterion of good conduct, something that anyone, anywhere can recognize as just good. Okay, now this is where it starts to get really, really interesting. This is where the whole concept gets turned up a notch. The source material takes that basic idea of treating others how you want to be treated and just elevates it, showing a huge difference between just regular good manners and something much deeper. And this comparison just lays it all out perfectly. On one side, you have normal social manners. It's kind of reactive. You do this, I do that sort of thing. But akhlaq, it's in a different league. It's totally unconditional. The whole principle is you do good, full stop, even if the other person is doing the exact opposite. It's a choice you make, not just a reaction. So you might be wondering, where does this incredibly powerful idea of unconditional goodness actually come from? Well, it's not just some nice philosophical idea. No, this comes straight from the source. It's a direct instruction. And just look at the word choice here. It doesn't say ignore evil or even endure evil. The Quran uses the word repel. It's so active, isn't it? The idea is that you're actively pushing evil away. And your weapon, your tool to do that, is goodness. It presents goodness as this incredibly powerful, transformative force. Then you have this direct, personal advice from the Prophet Muhammad himself. Do good to those who harm you. Whoa, this takes it to a whole other level. We're not just talking about being good to neutral people or people who are good to you. This raises the bar to a truly revolutionary standard of behavior. Okay, so you might be thinking, that sounds amazing, but is it even possible for a human being to live like that? Well, the source text anticipates that question and points to one person as the ultimate real-world example of this sublime character. And it's the Quran itself that says this, speaking directly about the Prophet Muhammad. It calls his character sublime. And what that does is so important. It takes akhlaq from being some abstract, pie-in-the-sky ideal and makes it tangible. It gives it a human face. It shows that, yes, this is a high bar, but it is achievable. It has been lived. And all of this leads us to the biggest question of all. Why? Why is this so important? What is the big deal about how you treat other people? And here it is. This is the bottom line. According to the source, the way you treat other people day in and day out, your patience when someone tests you, your kindness when it's not deserved, that is the ultimate test. It's the realest evidence of your goodness and your relationship with God. This final bit of wisdom from the prophet just makes that connection impossible to miss. It's so direct. If you can't find it in you to be grateful to the people you can see and interact with, how can you claim to be truly grateful to God? It means your humanity and your spirituality are completely tied together. You can't have one without the other. So that leaves us with this pretty powerful question to think about. It brings this whole concept of akhlaq out of the ancient text and puts it right in the middle of our modern lives. If the way you acted towards others was the only thing people could judge you by, what would it say about what you really believe? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.